It is Tuesday, September 9th, 2025. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. Several tropical waves approaching or moving into the Caribbean. I want to track those, the possibility of some development down the road, the change in some of the water temperatures, which plays into the rest of the hurricane season, and watching Tropical Storm Kiko out there in the Pacific. We'll cover that as well in this video. Now, you can see these tropical waves. One, this is that old disturbance that about a week ago looked like it may develop into a hurricane, and of course, that weekend we talked about that, but you could see some of the heavier rain trying to slide into the northeastern Caribbean. Here's another tropical disturbance, tropical wave that's really been hanging together, kind of outperforming the models. The models haven't even been seeing it, but I've been watching this, and this continues to head toward the Caribbean. So I'll watch this over the next couple of days as it moves in. We could see some different areas of flooding. Another tropical wave here, another one coming off the coast of Africa as we work our way, as I mentioned, mid to late month. It does look like conditions will be more conducive for some development of these tropical waves. Hurricane season goes through patterns. You get kind of quieter periods and you get more active periods. So we're going to see a little bit of a change as we work our way into the end of the month as things get more active. But as it stands now, watching this tropical wave moving in or tropical disturbance right near Antigua and Barbuda, especially Antigua, back through Anguilla, watching St. Martin, St. Bart's for some additional rain. Even over toward the U.S. and British Virgin Islands, and heavier rain from overnight southern Belize back through Guatemala. I've also been watching that elsewhere, scattered areas of rain, but you see back through the northeastern Caribbean, you see this big blob here. Now it looks alarming, and we know that we don't need a named system to give us some flooding, so I'm going to monitor that. But Anguilla, St. Martin, St. Bart's, I'm not seeing any signs of development, but let me know in the comments what you've been getting, if you're getting any rain. Watching Antigua all the way south through St. Croix as this kind of works across. This could even increase the rain chance. Saba, Statia, St. Kitts and Nevis, a higher chance of rain. Not seeing development, but always watching it. But as of now, watching the rain that we have with it. And then again, back from Cuba through the Bahamas over toward Florida, even up toward South Carolina, some heavier areas of rain. And some of that clipped us by in Jamaica. We had a couple showers and storms yesterday, as expected, in some spots. Now, what's going on as we look at the tropical Atlantic? I mentioned the lack of development. There's this orange shading in here. That's really dry and stable air. The air is sinking, so the showers and storms can't really bubble up. So these areas run into this very stable air, so they can't develop, which is a really good thing to pass along. That's in the short term, but on the flip side, we're going to see more moisture in the atmosphere later this month, so less dry air. And watching this, the Gulf back through the Caribbean, much of the Atlantic, these are the water temperatures versus average, and you see almost all of us are painted in this orangey shading, red shading, and here we are running above average. Water temperatures are always warm this time of year. It is still summer, we expect that, but they are running above average, and you can see some of these water temperatures right around 90 degrees Fahrenheit, 31 degrees Celsius in many spots. So as conditions get a little more active later this month and next month, we do need to watch this carefully, because if anything kind of runs over the Caribbean or into the Gulf, it could intensify pretty quickly. So kind of putting that on the back burner, but know that I'm watching that. I watch what's going on above our heads. That is favorable for us right now. That's good. We haven't seen much development, but as we work our way down below at the surface, the water temperatures are not good at all. They are very, very warm. So kind of watching all the pieces of the puzzle as we go through the rest of hurricane season, which ends at the end of November. So here are those tropical waves, and you see the modeling showing some of this diminishing back through the northeastern Caribbean. Other tropical waves out there. There's some of the heavier rain in some spots, and I'll zoom down in just a moment. I want to show you the rain totals. They're really big in some spots. We'll cover that as well. Now, just going out in time here into the upcoming weekend, and about a week from now, this is by the time we get into Monday. So watching several spots, not seeing, again, keeping things in good perspective. I'm not seeing any crazy signs of development over the next 6 days, but these are a few areas I'll be watching. The Western Caribbean, we're going to see some rain building up, so I'll monitor that. I mentioned the water temperatures, always a concern, just to see if anything does spin up from Jamaica back through Belize, back from Honduras up through Mexico. And then watching this area off the coast of the southeast U.S. There's been so many fronts in through here, just monitoring the potential of development. And then as we work our way into the middle of the month, those tropical waves may develop some. We'll see where they eventually go, but that's kind of what we're watching. We're kind of getting closer to that more active period that I've been mentioning. Shorter term, watching the scattered areas of rain. Again, one tropical wave moving in, another one that will be getting closer, and then we'll see some of that rain building and lifting back to the north. I want to zoom up in just a second. Bahamas north back through the U.S. and Canada, but you can see the areas of rain right here. But it's really scattered about. But we're going to see some areas of flooding just because of those downpours. Hit or miss showers, storms around Eastern Caribbean, and then scattered thunderstorms Puerto Rico, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, back from Jamaica over toward the Cayman Islands and Cuba. And then you can see some of that additional rain, Belize, back even getting over toward Merida. So watching this spot as some of the rain will be building. This is by the time we get into a Thursday, monitoring that. And then we'll see the rain building here further, as I just showed you, as we work our way toward the weekend and early next week. Now, jumping over here, I want to keep things on the tropical side, and then I'll get it to the north. This is what's left of Kiko, Hawaiian Islands here. So this is Hawaii. Throughout the day, a very weak tropical storm passing to the north, staying to the north of the Hawaiian Islands as expected. That'll keep the core of the rain all to the north of the Hawaiian Islands. Aside from the seas, it's generally business as usual. Again, those swells have worked in. This will stay to the north. Winds right now more likely about 50 miles per hour, so about 80 kilometers an hour, weakening very quickly, as we've talked about for days and days. So the model and keeping what's left of this system, a very diminished system at this point, north of the islands, and continuing that weakening trend over the next day or two. It's basically falling apart at this point. Wind shear is just kind of ripping it apart, which is a good thing. Now look at the rain, watching from Florida all the way up near the Carolinas, near Delmarva, and keeping an eye on the very coastal sections of Newfoundland as we work our way back toward the Avalon Peninsula. Another area here, Ontario, Quebec, kind of working in, and you see that trying to get closer to New Brunswick, watching that. But we get these surges of moisture in through here, even watching Bermuda, that just kind of lift up. So we'll be watching that for the Atlantic region of Canada close by, mainly at the coast, but we'll see another surge kind of develop, and then this spot we'll start to see, or at least look for, the potential of some development off the southeast coast of the U.S. Scattered storms as we work our way back toward the foothills over toward the Rocky Mountains. So the seas are going to be elevated right in through here. Bit of a chop as well as we work our way into the central Caribbean. This is right through the end of the week, so nothing super crazy. Just monitor where, of course, we have some rain and storms if you have any interest on the waters. Now look at what we're seeing with these rain totals, and they are going to be rather substantial, anywhere from the northern Bahamas back toward the west and north, basically from Sea Island, Georgia, south, back through the Florida Keys, just depending on where things set up. Really heavy rain totals. We're looking at 4, 5, 6 inches of rain. Again, not for all of us, but for some of us. So we're going to push upwards of about 50 to 75 millimeters of rain. Extreme northern Bahamas, scattered showers and storms. Cayman Islands, Jamaica, Cuba, Haiti, the DR. Not as much for the Turks and Caicos. Puerto Rico, we'll see those scattered storms as well. And keeping an eye on some additional rain. I mentioned some of the rain from overnight, this tropical disturbance near Aguila, St. Martin, and St. Bart's. We could get an additional 25 millimeters of rain plus in some spots. I'll be watching your comments scattered about as we swing our way back through the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, back into the Southeastern Caribbean. Some spots, if we get a shower or storm, that could give us 25 millimeters of rain possible. And then watching this area out here, I mentioned that tropical disturbance that the models haven't done a good job watching. We'll see how that progresses the next few days and starts to work in. Heavy totals in through here. And look at this, Guatemala, parts of Mexico, back through Belize, northern and western Honduras, over toward El Salvador. Some of these totals are going to be very high. Belize, we'll have some totals 4, 5, 6 inches of rain, mainly southern sections, and we'll see some spots around 150 millimeters of rain elsewhere. So watching that, still scattered to widespread parts of Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, northern Colombia. ABC Islands were mainly dry, and we could see some additional flooding in parts of Mexico. Northern Mexico, not as much. We swing back toward Texas, not super active at this point. There's been a little lull in the activity. Most of that action's been here up toward the outer banks of North Carolina. So Jamaica, we're still going to be active, much like yesterday, where some of us see some storms. You may see some of the distance. Others are dry. But we're looking at about a 60% chance of some showers and storms. Cayman Islands, hit or miss for us, 30 to 40% chance over the next few days. Trinidad and Tobago, 50% chance. I want to keep an eye on that tropical wave off toward the east to see if that hangs together the next few days. Barbados, hit or miss, a 30% chance today and tomorrow. St. Lucia, 30 to 40% chance of seeing a passing shower through Thursday. Grenada, same thing, 30% chance today, 40% chance tomorrow, and an isolated passing shower possible today and tomorrow. St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Martinique, we're mainly dry today. Rain chance about 30% tomorrow. And you see tomorrow in Dominica, the rain chance a little higher. Not a washout, but we're looking at a 40% chance of a shower. We do that again the next 3 days as we work our way back through Guadeloupe. Antigua and Barbuda, especially watching Barbuda today, I should have said that earlier, a better chance of getting some of that rain. St. Kitts and Nevis and Montserrat, rain chance about 60%. A 60% chance today with that tropical disturbance, and Anguilla and St. Bart's. This is for the rest of today. A lot of us have already had some of the rain. Same thing, St. Martin, Sabin, Statia dropping off tomorrow to a 30% chance. 50% chance is going to hold in Puerto Rico. Scattered thunderstorms. Some of those have been on the strong side, and a 50% chance, especially deeper into the day, U.S. and British Virgin Islands. Rain chance about 50%, scattered about through the Bahamas, but favoring over toward Freeport. We swing back toward the Turks and Caicos, just about a 30% chance. Scattered showers and thunderstorms remain from the Dominican Republic back through Haiti. We're in an active pattern now. Storm chance about 40 to 50%. 40 to 50% chance in Belize, but Belize, it's a bit split, more in our central and southern zones especially, with that better chance of rain. Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire, the rain chance stays on the low side, up to about a 30% chance by the time we get into Thursday. 40 to 50% chance in Guyana, rain chance staying on the low side in Suriname. Most of the action to the north, scattered thunderstorms and some of those heavy as we swing back through Cuba. A 70% chance, Costa Rica, Panama actually down a little bit from a few days ago. Nicaragua, 50% chance over the next 2 days, and it will be building some in Honduras as we work our way through the end of the week. Rain chance staying high, parts of Guatemala and El Salvador. Flooding and a mudslide threat staying with us. Mexico City, a 70% chance of rain, and scattered thunderstorms through the Yucatan Peninsula. Some of those could be strong the next few days. Northern Colombia, rain chance about 50%. The next couple of days, northern Venezuela, about a 50% chance. And watching that front nearby, we could see some of those showers trying to creep in parts of Bermuda as we go through the day ahead. So several tropical waves, monitoring areas of flooding. That is the first concern. Dry air helping us now, preventing some development in the short term, but it should be a more active finish to the month leading into what could be an active October as well. So thank you for being part of this weather community. I hope you have a really good day ahead.